welcome to another episode, vlog, whatever you want to call it, of Sunday Nights with those guys. Hold on a second. I have this commercial on, and it's actually all right. That's a lot better. I can skip that. What's up, Al Diaz? How are you, sir? Hope all is well. Hope you were able to fly over there on your side of the hemisphere, the other side of the United States. What's up, Herman? What's good, man?
How's it going,
Um, it was okay until we went flying this morning.
man?
Feel like it was a waste. We
well,
went flying. What happened?
well, I've had a long, drawn week. What you
We've
got
had
there?
a long week of no, yes. We've had a long week of no flying because of the rain.
Well, yeah, but I've been on a few live streams this week,
Oh,
talking with people
yeah,
about
I know.
different
Showing
things.
the ring. I
So,
caught that. That was done very professionally. He was like, I've been on a few live streams this weekend. And he
oh no, I
said,
mean, I was on a few different live streams this week, and talking about a few interesting things. Matter of fact, last night was a long night on a few different live streams, talking about this new controller that's coming out, and hopefully we can get the guy that featured it on his show to come in here and discuss what because they've actually had a hands-on trial with this thing.
right, I remember the other night there were some of
Yeah, matter of fact, we spoke with the guys.
right. Wasn't it a few of the designers and people that helped back it?
Yeah, and we actually got to I actually got a chance to talk with them further last night till late, and their actual experience and seeing how things actually work, face to face with these guys. Even though it was over the computer, they had the equipment right there to show us, to show the layout and everything and how it looks and how it works.
Well, even though I got there late, from what little I saw, it looked like it's going to be a big seller. Seriously. Like,
It,
for example, I
it,
could be flying and eating this quarter pounder with cheese at the same time.
at the same time,
At the same time, that's right. Could you imagine flying with this one joystick, your entire drone, getting that camera shot, everything you need, and then you reach over and you go, mm.
you know what? You're trying to be like a real pilot.
Hmm? What happened?
You're trying to be like an airline pilot.
Exactly, like a fighter pilot, because they have that single flight yoke.
Well, no, when I say like an airplane pilot,
What's up, Mike Rose?
eating while the plane's flying.
It was an emergency, Mr. Crowley.
Hey, Mike Roach, I got to talk with Mike last night too. We had, we were all in that discussion there
Hey,
about
Mike,
that controller.
I'd like to say, Mike Roche, thank you. Sorry, may have ketchup on my mouth. For sticking up for Herman the other night when Bill, the drone reviewer, was recruiting people and he was shunning Herman. I heard what you did there. That was very, very appreciative. And you did say that about Herman.
I wouldn't say that he was shunning me. I just felt like I wasn't there.
Well, then they do have different terms for it, but you basically know what I mean.
But
Hey, Paul. What's up, Paul?
Hey, another day in paradise. How about you guys?
I'm good. Can you guys
Well, I'm
stall
kind
for
of tired.
2 minutes? I need you guys to stall for about 2 minutes.
Oh, I can stop.
So I can finish my quarter pounder with cheese.
We can talk about this.
What we got there? Uh-oh.
Gourmet loaves. One is like raspberry, strawberry, lemon, and chocolate meringue.
All right. Hey, Al Diaz, what's good, man? How's it going on?
And hey, Herman, that was
You
quite
got some coffee?
quite a chat we did last night, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, that's what we were talking about. We started talking about, me and Lawrence, about we were all talking with the guys with that controller with the single-handed motion, and we got to speak with those guys further, the guys that were doing the testing on it.
Yeah.
The live world testing on it, and you got to talk with Curtis a lot last night, and I was hoping he could come in here tonight. We sent him a link.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's impressive. I'm like you, Herman. It's like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'd like to see how much of the control it takes over from the DJI system. What it does with what DJI is already doing to its unit. I'm just curious to know. I'd like to try it myself. I thought it was a pretty good piece.
For me, the enticement is
Mm-hmm.
that you get it for $150 off if you buy before the end of this month.
Right. But you see, it has potential. And if you get it now, before you know where it's going, you know what I mean? You get that 150 off, but I don't know. I mean, I would take the chance on it because from what I today, like I was showing Lawrence, we were flying, and there's certain things with my left hand. Once I start pushing that other stick, the nerve in my hand is bad, so it just won't do certain things. I have to stop and wait, relax the hand, and do it again. And sometimes that's an issue.
Yeah.
So if I can just use that right hand to do everything.
I've noticed my left hand sometimes I get a little spasm twitch or something, and it just bugs the hell out of me.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Sometimes I get a little pain with it, but I'm good, you know.
Yeah, I'm seriously thinking about pulling the trigger this week.
Well, you know what? To be honest, if I could pull the trigger and I wasn't going to Atlantic City to this convention, I probably would do it this week because you have up until the 30th, and then it's going to go from $300 to $450.
Yep. And that was my thought too. Is even if it didn't turn out to be everything that I want it to be, I think it is a quality enough piece from listening and talking to those guys. I think I could turn around and easily get my money back, maybe even more after the first of next month.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Roach, I don't know if you know about this controller, but it's like a flight yoke, and you control your entire drone.
He was in on the conversation.
He was in on the after panel.
Yeah.
Oh, he was. Okay.
Yeah, he came in on the after.
I could see some modifications to it, Mike, like adding a tablet to it. Hint, hint. And to actually have a working version would be good as well.
I tell you the truth, I can see, adapting that to like a lounge chair or something you could bring outside and just.
No, see, I don't need. No, I need to stand
up. Chair and sit in it and just relax.
You know as well as I do.
Some of
the places we fly, you need to be standing up. Like today.
Yeah, you put wheels on.
We were in a soccer field flying, right? Now the guys are playing soccer back and forth, the long way, right? All of a sudden, we see them bringing the net over to where me and Herman are. So now they go from playing the long way to playing this way along the field, which meant if me and Herman continued flying, there was a risk every time someone shot for the goal, we could get hit with the ball or burst off a drone. Good.
So basically, that kind of put a damper on
He says, Mike Rose says, do we have room? Yeah, Mike, let me send you an invite. Give me a second. Um, go right here and see what happens. Mike, Roche, I got you. I can copy the link. So, Paul, did you get any flying in today? Because Herman and I did, but
Yeah, I got two more ships, but I also, after we get done with those guys, I've got to go out and mow my front yard. Monday is when they pick up my yard waste, and it's supposed to start raining late tonight. So
Oh,
okay.
you got a lot of yard to mow?
yeah, I have to use a zero turn.
No. Hold on. Do you have to use a zero turn, or is that what everybody on the block has?
No, I'm the only one that has it on the block.
Okay. Okay. You haven't seen that commercial on TV where the new
No.
couple moves on the block and the wife goes to the other around the other wives. Um, I'm a stay-at-home mom or something like that, and the other wife goes, "You don't work," something to that effect. And the
Yeah.
husband, they switch to the husband, and the husband, they ask him, "What kind of lawnmower do you have?" And he goes, "Oh, I just pay some kid," and they all go, you know. And then at the end of the commercial, you see him on a zero turn. You're trying to show him how to ride, how to control a zero turn in dude's garage. They're out there like this is forward.
But see, that brings up a social issue. Is the times have changed so much. When I was growing up, and probably you guys too, we were always out hustling. Can I shovel your snow? Can I mow your lawn? Can I do this? Can do that? Kids today, they don't want any part of that.
Not even the kid that lives there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's kind of true because I know for a fact, even here in New York, when I was little, I used to beg for my mom for a shovel in the winter so I could go out and shovel snow. And even though we lived in the projects, we didn't have to go far because there was always someone in a parking spot on your block that needed digging out, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, we did stuff when we were children. We had no social media. We didn't have the internet, so we built go-karts out of shopping cart wheels, and you know the deal. You get a seat, one stick in the middle, one stick is the steering with your feet until you can attach a rope to it. We
Yeah.
had several different versions. What did that guy say on the commercial? What guy, Mr. Crowley? I didn't. Oh, the commercial. Oh, that I was just talking about. Which part? I'm lost. Anyway, um, I had some drone news for it. I would like to think I have some drone news. Nothing of grave importance, but hold on. Oh, Herman,
Yes.
remember you said that you would not get into racing drones, right?
Uh-huh.
Unless they became modular. So, well, you didn't say modular, but you said the main habit problem is you would not be want to put them together or build them.
Hmm.
You would want them pre-built.
Right.
Well, this story leads into that drone that I'm about to talk about. Okay, hold on. I have on the page here the best drones for 2019. And when they say the best drones, hold on, let me pull it up so you guys can see what I'm saying. It doesn't look so boring, also. But the best drones for 2019, guess what? And they're talking about for beginners, the best beginner drones for 2019. And the number one is the DJI Mavic 2 Pro.
Hmm.
Now, the second one is the Unique Breeze, and the next one is the Rise Tello. Now, I can see the Unique Breeze and the Rise Tello being a beginner drone, but I don't see anyone going out and paying $1,500 for a Mavic 2 Pro to learn how to fly. But
Done all the time.
some people have done it though. You
It's
know
done
what
all
I'm
the
saying?
time.
Now check this out. Now, hold on. This is the list of how the drones are going as far as sales in 2019. And the number one seller right now is DJI Mavic 2 Pro. Best
Yep.
overall. They get the best rating. So far, it's the best drone overall. The
Yep.
second best drone being sold is the Unique Breeze, as far as a drone for beginners.
Right.
Now, as far as the cheap drone, thank you. As far as the cheap drone, the Rise Tello is the best cheap drone. The best filmmaking drone is the Inspire 2. Of course, we knew that. And now these are all, well, then after that, the best drone for racing, which is in progress, they haven't calculated or came up with numbers, is the UV-Fi Draco HD.
Uh-huh.
And that's the drone that I actually was talking about as far as being perfect for you because it's modular.
Well, I think that's nice of you, Lawrence, to buy that for him. He tried it.
Hold on a second. Let me show you this
You
thing.
know, my birthday is in September.
Yeah, there you go.
What happened?
My birthday is in September, so you know.
Well, this
Feel
this
free.
this is supposedly that drone, and check it out. It has DJI parts in it, and that's why I'm showing it to you. Because a lot of people were asking how come DJI hasn't got into a racing drone business, and they actually have on the low. They're literally, see, it's a modular drone. You snap everything together, the wings, and if it crashes, you just snap it back in. Well, no, because then it's broke. But anyway, let me
Now,
stop.
let me ask you this.
Yeah,
These racing drones that these guys are putting together, right,
mm-hmm.
go from almost nothing to a whole lot of something.
Yeah,
That right there, when I hit that tree, like some of these guys hit the tree or they, you know, they crash.
yeah.
How long is that shit down? And
Well, I'm going to tell you right now.
how long? Because
9 out of 10.
affiliated with DJI, I'm a scared.
No, but hold on. Because it's a modular drone, it would
Right.
be perfect for people who don't want to do the soldering work to repair. If you break an arm, you have a spare arm and you just plug the arm in and you get up and go. Now, they're not designed to break on contact. There are bolts that hold in. Once you snap it in, you have to put in two bolts. Okay. Now, if it snapped, if the arm snaps, but the bolts in there, you obviously need a new arm. But there's no soldering, none of that stuff that you have to do on the fly. And they're all, if not 9% out, 9 out of 10 are made out of carbon fiber. And but this has even has a modular smart battery as
Because
well.
what I'm looking at with that, it looked like it had a window, like a little LED
On the controller.
on the back of the drone.
That's for orientation. If you're flying at line of sight without your goggles, that way in the distance you'll be able to tell that that's
Right, I got that, but I'm just saying that looks like an expensive part to break too.
Not really. LEDs cost pennies off the dollar. You can get LEDs replacements for like $2 to $3.
Let's see what this drone costs.
All right. Oh, it's $600
Yeah.
for the standard version. Well, now check this out. It's a racing drone for $600. Now, if you go to Get FPV and you buy a complete racing drone pre-built, 9 times out of 10, it's going to cost you anywhere from $450 to about $600. So it fits within the market range.
So
And now,
how does
if
this?
you want the goggles, the drone, and the radio, you can talk DJI prices, 1,200, 2,000, stuff
Now
like
let me ask you this: is the goggles for that thing proprietary, or you can get any kind of Fat Sharks or something like that?
you can use anything to it.
All right.
Anything to it. Yes, I told you, like the great Karnak on Johnny Carson predicts, Herman will be flying a racing drone next year.
Hey, Al Diaz, Mike, Mr. Crowley.
What's
Look,
up with you guys?
look at
You
what
guys
Lawrence
see
is
flying?
getting.
Yeah, exactly, Mr. Crowley and his drone. Antennas are cheap. The parts, man, are. That's why people are getting into them. It's a lot cheaper than the DJI drone. Do you know what I could do with $1,200 in a racing drone world? I could probably build about 3 drones and 3 different types with
But see,
$1,200.
but see, I'm skeptical like Herman is. The reason you have to buy 3 drones is because you're going to crack them up all the time, and you got to keep.
Oh, uh-uh. Paul, this drone right here hit a lamp pole, okay, head on. And when I say head on, you know how an aluminum bat sounds when it hits a softball? It went boom and it spent off. And when I got to it, the only thing I had to do was push the camera back down, and she was able to fly. These things are rugged. Now, if anything's going to get hurt, a human will. That's for sure. My nephew knows this little bird right here, Paul. This little bird does 45 miles per hour. I hit my nephew in the hat with it. He was recording, and I was diving. I was trying to dive in front of him like this and swoop up. And the first pass was pretty good. So I said, all right, I see how it handles and how it lifts. I'll get a little closer. And you see on the camera coming straight towards him, it swoops up and boom. And his hat was straight and it spun his hat halfway around. It didn't hurt him, but that's the only thing you have to worry about with racing drones.
You see that, Paul? He tried to take him out.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did a video on it, and the cameraman quit on me. But if you want a drone, a modular drone, and you can't solder, eventually the price will go down because someone else will make a modular drone.
Well, it's not that I can't do these things. I see what you guys go through, and I rather let the guy who designed to put this thing together, let him put it together and deal with the friggin' part, the fact that it doesn't work, or if it works or it works not.
See, Mr. Crowley and his drone says his FPV, his birds are about $200 to $250. See?
Because I look at some of these batteries for these things, and when you want to start comparing them to DJI and even some of the other drone makers out there.
Now, see, this is one thing about racing
quality.
drones. You must know how to maintain these batteries, because I had a battery start getting fat on me because I had the ampage half a point higher than it should have been, and it started swelling on me. And unfortunately, I took it outside, and I got outside, I laid it on the ground, and I stood back. And as I stood back, it just got bigger and bigger. And then all of a sudden, you see it go pop on the side, a little corner ripped out. The gas started coming out of it. And then once it made contact with air, it ignited. So those are very hard to maintenance.
But this is what I'm trying to say to you. A lot of those parts are like, maybe they work, maybe they don't.
Well, I can see you getting frustrated by going out to fly.
I'm not going to deal with that.
But I could see you getting frustrated by going out to fly, and this happens, and all of a sudden your video starts getting real noisy. And then you change the channel or frequency, and your video's still noisy. I could see you getting pissed with that, because that's what pisses off a lot of FPV flyers. If there's a lot of noise when, static or whatever, when a drone turns its back to the controller, how much noise there is between you and it. But if you get a center whoop or something like that, something that you can fly close up, you'll be fine.
I see all that snow inside those goggles, and I'm like, yo, how do you live like this?
I see Paul already admitted if he put the goggles on, he's just going to pass out. So,
yeah. No, I've used goggles to fly with the
regular drone, but when you start doing them flips and flops and everything else, it's like, man, you're gonna go right on over.
You're talking about, hold on.
Yeah.
I had something that I was going to show some of these FPV guys in here. I don't know if I saved it, but I'm learning how to fly FPV, and I've seen a lot of guys. I put on goggles and followed guys with racing drones and stuff. But this is that drone that I showed you guys. Hold on a second. If I can just pause it real quick. This is what it looks like. The guy starts out with the drone upside down, okay? And he flips it right side up and he's flying at night. And this is the drone this modular drone that Herman said what happens if, well, you'll see for yourself. Hold on. You guys can see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's actually following that drone and ahead of him. That drone is the actual one that I was telling Herman is modular and stuff like that. Now, if you can get used to this, you can fly a racing drone.
That's not the problem. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, what I'm talking about is
the quick turning.
No. Most of the guys that I've seen, when they show these videos and you see like the view, when you look at like goggles and stuff like that, that view from it, it's so much damn snow in there. I would refuse to do that.
Okay, well, see, that's true because this one actually has a camera on. This one actually has a camera on top of it. You know, they usually put a GoPro on top for that clarity. But if you look at it through the goggles, you're right. There is a little bit of snow, but now the technology has gone to like they have a brand out there called Team Black Sheep, where your video is in 720 and or 1080p.
Mm-hmm.
And the only time it may start getting snowy is when you start reaching the limit of that video graphics card, which could be anywhere from 3 to 6 miles.
Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I was talking about with the snow, and you know how you have these antennas on the goggles. Yep. I'm like, what you got to do to get rid of that snow? You got to get some big old antennas and stick on this thing, like like the ones you put on the roof for the television back in the day.
Well, see that if you ever go to FPV channels, that's what the guys are always talking about. They're talking about, well, I'm using this module and I tried this module, but this module wasn't as good as this module, so I had to buy this module. And then that camera doesn't work as well as this camera. And those guys, I mean, I get it. That's what they like to do. I just want to fly. I just want to turn it on, go up, fly, come back.
They have setups like that, Paul. They do have setups like that. You just have to be willing to give it a try and get rid of your vertigo first.
You let me know how it works for you guys. I'm just I'm too old to be changing.
Hold on. I'll be right there. I have to get something out of the fridge.
Is that where you keep your batteries or your fat sharks?
No, but that I'd like to check that thing out because mean,
there you go, Herman. There you go.
I'd look at it, but
it just isn't. It doesn't. That kind of flying just doesn't hit my hot button. I know, like Centroid posted a really nice video earlier today, going crazy through trees and all kinds of stuff, and it's just
I didn't have to go get cake, Mr. Crowley. No, it wasn't cake. It's actually something that I had in the freezer. I like this little frosty cup because you put it in a freezer for about and whatever's inside it feels like you're in the Bahamas on a hot day. So I didn't really have a whole bunch of drone news to talk about, and that was only because I figured that the weather's so nice here on the East Coast, it might dictate how many people come into the stream or not. But I'm here to hang out for the duration.
Yeah. Go ahead, Herman.
The major thing that I dealt with this week was in drone news. And like we all spoke on it last night, was that controller. That was the hottest topic this week.
Hey, Central, what's up? How are you?
And the fact that we got a drone shot down there supposedly.
In the Middle East.
Yeah.
We went flying too, Centroid, but we kind of feel the spot that we went to was a waste. Well, at least I feel it was a waste. It was supposed to be a spot for Herman to fly because it was his first time there. And it was my second time there. And I figured I would do a part 2 to what I did the first time. And I just couldn't get inspired. I said, oh, wow, I remember that building. Let me go over there. Did that. I said, okay, let me go to this area. I did that already. So I basically just burned batteries while Herman flew.
Well, the problem I experienced was hawks and soccer balls.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
they heard
the two
the soccer
buildings,
balls were.
well, the two buildings that we were going to fly because this is spring. Well, this is summer now. The area about a mile down is called High Bridge, or maybe further, and hawks live in a tower. Now, of course, you know hawks cover 15, 20 miles in area, and where we were flying, there are two towers called Tracy Towers, and I think that they're housing developments. I think they're like maybe 30 something, 40 something story towers. And we were flying towards them, and the mother hawk decided to show the baby hawk how to ride the air between the two towers. So we couldn't go in that direction, you know.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
And it also let us know how windy it was around the two towers. Because if a bird can stand there exactly perfectly still and then turn away anytime it wanted, that's and the little baby bird was trying to. He kept moving around and stuff. Well, it wasn't baby because you could see that sucker from how far away it was.
That means it's got a lot of heat rising up from the ground too.
Right, that's true too.
A lot of uplift.
Now it would have been nice to catch something like that with a zoom, you know, because as the smaller bird was followed, the smaller hawk was following the mother. If the mother went this way, the hawk dove that way. If the mother made a sharp turn, I was like, okay.
I could have put it in sport mode and got close.
What happened?
Could have put it in sport mode and got close.
Yeah, that's how you do. And you didn't hear this from me, but if you chase them back, they'll leave you alone. That's all I'll say.
Now you guys don't have the eyeballs on your drones, do you?
No.
You know, the stickers for the eyes. I mean, some guys claim that works. I don't know.
Believe it or not,
don't know either.
I know people that swear by it.
Yep.
I do know people that swear by it.
Every time I've had a bird fly near me, they've
Hey,
always
Paul, what is this? I just got an alert saying Pusa Studios in group hangouts, WW, and it goes to a YouTube link. Why am I getting this stuff? Also, I get one from Cab 7 like twice or three times a day. I got it on my phone. I have it on the computer here. It says Canadian Drone Hub, Val, Pusa Studios. Now, if I click on it, it goes to Hangouts, right?
Yeah.
And it pulls up one of their videos.
I'll be right back. Got no
Hey,
audio. I'll be right back.
What happened?
Okay. He's got no audio. He didn't hear us.
We can hear you, Mike. He couldn't hear us. Okay. Now, what is that? Is that?
I don't know. I don't get a lot of that stuff.
No.
Well, what it is, it's saying that Val and Canadian Drone Hub and sometimes Cab 7 are in a Hangouts meeting, but then I get the alert or something saying they're in this meeting. Then when I go to click on it, it's a video and not a meeting.
Wow.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is either, but
Well, if Val ever shows up, ask her. But I get a lot of notification stuff, and I just don't pay attention to
see, Centroid has a valid point. He says he's not convinced the eyeballs work. Depends on the temperament of the bird. Now, I know guys that right. If it's an aggressive bird, it don't give a damn. You're in its territory. You know, it's the same thing. If it's a freaking elephant, if you're in the elephant's territory, he's going to come after you behind. You know, we were watching that guy that was interviewed by Val, and he says, if you see a moose, run. Don't stop and say, "Ooh, look at the pretty moose." Because 9 times out of 10, he's going to chase your ass.
Yeah.
And unless you have a 3-art a 30-yard six or
Explosives.
something.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. A taser, anything. A
I
taser
didn't,
might get them excited.
I didn't realize how big. You're talking about that guy Jake Sloan. I didn't realize how big some of these animals were. So he spoke about them, and
Can you hear us, Mike?
Mike,
Can you
can
hear
you
us?
hear?
I can hear you, Paul.
can you
Okay,
hear me?
Can't hear the other guys.
Uh-oh.
go ahead and talk.
Can you hear me?
He can't hear us.
I'm here, but I can't hear Lawrence or Herman.
Yeah, he can't hear us.
It's my computer. It's definitely my end.
Wow.
It's probably hang out again.
Let me restart this thing. Let me just hang up and come back in, actually.
Okay.
Paul, tell him to F5, refresh everything.
Or do a complete shutdown and restart.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me tell him in the chat room. Mike Roche, do a full restart.
He's coming back in.
Hello, Mike. Can you hear us now?
I hear you, Paul.
Can you hear me?
Same problem.
Okay. Well, Mike, what you might have to do is do a complete restart. In other words, back out of everything, shut the computer off, restart it, and come back in again.
Yeah. All right. Give me a couple minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
We'll wait for you, buddy.
Now,
We're not going. And
now getting back to this temperament of hawks. Now we've seen, and in fact, Elliot has a picture of a hawk close enough so that you see the talons like this, and the hawk must have said, "Wait a minute, that's not a bird," and backed off. The hawk actually hit the air brakes and flew away.
well, I think what happened with Elliot was he might have gotten close to an area where somebody might have been nesting.
That's true too, because where he was the Verrazano Bridge that connects New York City to.
From listening to you guys, and I've never flown with him, he kind of flies on the edge all the time, doesn't he?
Well, Herman, tell him the story of the guy in the park that said, "Hey, that guy over there crazy."
When I first met Elliot, the guy, there's a the guy that takes care of the park.
Yeah.
He says to me, he goes, "Yo, that guy, he's crazy. He flies very high and very far." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So first thing I meet with Elliot, and he takes off and he shoots out, flies out over this building and just keeps going over. I'm like, dude, can you see that? Can you see it? Because it's gone. He goes, "No, I got it. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Like a rocket, huh?
It's gone.
Mr. Crowley and his drone says a hawk attacked his Phantom 4 and pulled the prop off. What's up, Rick Halbert? Is he in here? Hello, Rick. Oh, there he is. Hey, what's up, dude? How are you? And welcome to Sunday Nights with those guys. Here's Mike back.
Now, is that better, Mike?
Can you hear everybody? We
We can't hear Mike.
What?
There he is. Can you hear everyone?
I can hear you guys now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Finally reset. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Hey, it's happened to all of us at one time or another.
Right.
What's good, Mike? How you been, man?
Pretty good. Just chilling. Finally got some summer weather up here.
Yeah.
Same as you guys. Like it was pretty windy yesterday. Just like it was, I think, in New York too.
Yeah.
And but beautiful day though. Otherwise.
That's right. Because where are you? You're up by Centroid, up in Syracuse.
Yeah. So 300 miles to the north, something like that. Whatever drive wise. I mean, you got to go straight up to Albany, then cut over, a couple more hours to Syracuse.
Okay. Okay. I have a nephew-in-law that lives in Utica, New York.
Right. So about an hour away.
We take the throughway all the way.
Right. He goes right through Syracuse.
I used to go to school in Troy, and it was no fun driving up there.
And also, you better have good tires when you start getting into the hills. If you go through the Catskills, you better have a decent transmission.
Yeah, I went to a wedding down in the Catskills. It was just rainy, but man, everything's a mountain down there.
Yeah.
I guess that's why they call them the Catskill Mountains, huh?
Hey, what's up, Roger? We sent you a link if you decide to come in. So,
You-
what do you think, Mike, about that controller, man? I mean, is that innovative?
Definitely innovative. I think it's kind of a thing where it looks very cool and definitely an option for people, especially if you got we got so many wounded soldiers, one arm and stuff like that. Then you're talking about no-brainer stuff right
Right.
there. But it's kind of thing where the jury's out. I'd like to get my hands on a demo unit somehow or something, and because there's a lot of like more stuff to carry along with you. Like you got to hook it up to your controller, and you still got to have a phone or a tablet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I kind of like to be minimalist in carrying my stuff.
Here's what I was thinking though, Mike, and it gets pricey again. But those Epson glasses.
Oh yeah, the Movario.
Yep, the
Yeah.
Bavarios that have the heads-up display. I would see that would work with that, and where you could still watch your drone, see the heads-up display, and then just fly with that.
Yeah, I don't know. And then it's a case by case basis. I think in terms of like with my hands, like Hermit, I didn't even know you had some hand trouble as well. Being able to grip that stick and then turning it, the twisting it would be a question mark. The trigger part looked pretty easy because it's from both sides. I didn't realize it's like a pass-through trigger.
Actually, if you've ever seen an airplane flight yoke, it's basically a trigger that's a handle down like this. You usually have a trigger with 1 to 2 buttons. You have a toggle switch that usually controls multiple options by clicking in, and I see where they went with it. I do see where they went with it. It is innovative. It's just a matter of whether they can make other. They have one main model, so eventually they'd have to come out with more than one type of model. That's what I'm saying. So I hope this does take off.
Well, we'll know pretty soon because Herman ordered one, so I'm interested to see how Herman does.
Is that why you're eating ramen all this week, Herman? Really?
No, man, I would never eat that.
Herman told me, Herman told me something that was funny, and I don't know if I should mention it, so I'm not going to mention it.
Herman, we get summers up here. I get the feeling that you're under the impression that it's freezing up here all the time.
No. No, they were talking about spin up, and you mentioned it's always cheap to come to Syracuse.
Right.
Spin up is in October. Syracuse is not
right.
the weather.
Well, we don't have to have it in October. In fact, we wouldn't want to cut in on the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's a tall order to get multiple.
But you know what's funny? They mentioned Florida, and I think that a lot of people would be inclined to run to Florida because they run to Florida for everything.
Hey, quick question, Big Matt, what's good? Would you think these guys would mind, or how would it affect me copyright-wise if I were to show their video but not with the audio?
Who?
Fluidity, the guys with the controller. Because I have a video set up for the guys in the chat room who have not seen this controller. It's a DJI controller.
And since you're promoting their company, and Curtis Dart has been promoting their company,
exactly.
I don't think they'd have a problem. It's not like you're having them come to you to be the middleman to make some money.
Right. We in no way, shape, or form are getting any kind of endorsement for showing this video, so let's make that clear.
And I think it also would fall under drone news too.
Centroid goes paste the link. I'll do that as well. I'll paste the link, and that's true. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll paste the link, and then you guys can check it out. But there's a YouTube video there,
Big Matt,
on there, and you can check that out. Basically, it's the new controller of the future. It's basically designed for people with and without handicap.
Hey, Novice, you posted the link to the hangout.
Oh,
See,
shoot.
everybody's gonna be coming in if they got.
No, not anymore. If they haven't, right? They if they didn't, they tried it. You know what? I didn't even click on it. That's what I didn't.
Surprise!
See, he jumped in on the link.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Centroid was fast enough to catch the link.
Yeah, I was just coming on to tell you posted the wrong link. I'll get off, man. I was just
No, you can still you can hang out, man. We're not doing nothing. You can hang out. I was showing Herman that. Are you familiar with this drone Centroid called the Draco or Draco?
Great, I've heard of it. It's
You posted the right link now?
The modular drone.
yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
Okay. And I was going to ask, what do you think about the modular system and all of that? But that's the link to Fluidity. Okay.
I do like that controller. I don't know. I don't know if
Well,
I'm at a point where I'd get
you
one.
and everybody else here and everyone else who's watching has until June 30th to get it for the price of $300. And that's a pre-order price because I think once
They're
they
gonna
start
start shipping
production,
right away, though.
It's,
Yeah.
right?
it's,
Once they do start production, they're going to cost $450.
it's probably not really good for FPV.
I'll be right
though,
back. Every time someone pops in, I lose audio. I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I could have gotten out.
Hey,
No,
Mike.
no,
Hey, Mike.
that's
We're gonna have to
okay.
call
He
you.
can
Call
read.
you Roger, Mike. That's what happens to Roger all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think that control would be conducive to FPV. What do you think, Novice?
No, definitely not. You would probably break it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would probably break it. Can you hear everyone, Mike?
Can you talk, Mark?
I'm just kidding, Mike. I'm just
Oh.
kidding.
Because I was like, wait a minute, now I can't hear him.
Okay, now I'm not going to listen.
Sorry.
But
But,
you want to know what that controller would be great for? It would be great for a master controller. You know how you have a master and slave teaching
Yeah.
them how to fly?
Yeah.
That would be a great purpose for it because you don't have to carry two bulky controllers. I mean, it's big enough that it has its own case.
After we hung up from whose channel were we on? We were on Roger's channel, right? To start with. Then
Yeah.
we went over to
Curtis.
Curtis Dart opened up, and we were there to almost midnight. And what happened is he brought in a couple of the guys that actually were using them, and turned around, and one guy had one, and he fired up his drone right there, and we'd ask him questions, he'd see if it did it. And what it did was, what I was excited about was that you could still use the controller controls in addition to the stick controls. Like the controls you could use would be the camera and all that kind of stuff on your controllers, almost like if you had a slave controller for a photographer, videographer.
Well, I mean, that's what they do with these inspection units. They call them sensor operators. Somebody's piloting while the other one's controlling the camera. It would make for a good team unit.
Because initially they didn't know if they could do that or not. So he tested it. And yes, he could.
I'm assuming it's compatible with DJI.
That's good to know in case you want to teach someone how to fly.
Yeah.
Or you want to show someone how to do a maneuver. Now, my thing is, it's great for maneuvering, but sometimes you have to get complicated like Herman and take a subject, and instead of doing an orbit around it, he's got to do a descending or ascending orbit while going around at the same time. And I wonder if you can do that with this controller.
And control the camera.
Sure you can.
It's called point of interest.
What's that, Mike?
Point of interest.
I'm pretty sure you'd be able to do it.
You can do it in point of interest. I think it's still up your elevation.
Point of interest, you can do it automatically, but Herman has to do it the hard way and do it manually. And I do most of my orbits manually too.
Herman, that'd be a good place for you to insert your famous.
Here we go.
That's it.
Okay, guys, I was just coming on to bust with you on that link, so I got to
Hey,
get going and get some stuff done.
Metroid, I watched a couple of your videos today. They were interesting.
Oh.
Not that I would ever want to try that, but they were interesting. I thought you did a good job.
Well, actually, I'm thinking, Paul, it's you and Roger that are putting the dislikes on him. So.
Well,
Yeah, I like that flying at night one. That was pretty
that's
cool.
another story within itself.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Well,
we can discuss that at another time in private.
well, I appreciate the view nonetheless, Paul. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I saw that one too, Mark, flying at
the
night in Utica.
Yeah, I flew that one
Yeah.
at night. I haven't responded to any of those comments yet. I've been out flying all day, but I
Right.
saw that you did comment. Thank you so much for watching that
Yeah,
one.
cool.
That was a lot of fun. And what a lot of people didn't realize is that for some reason the OSD with my goggles picks up more light, so I saw a lot better than what the HD camera was picking up. So it wasn't like I was seeing flying in the dark that badly. It was
Right.
actually
What version goggles do you have?
I have the Dominator 3 Fat Sharks.
Okay.
But I think I have the camera set to nighttime, towards the nighttime, so it's very bright. Even and at night, at dusk, it's very, very clear. So,
All right. Hey, what's up, EBR? Well, thanks for coming in. You're more than welcome.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Just as
Take care, Mark.
just as they were saying, you put the wrong link, you go boing.
Well, Ruin did that to me once. I didn't put the link in, but when I was using OBS, I had the window capture and I didn't crop out the top, so the link was clear as day. So all you had to do is type it in, and he popped in just to kind of tell me about it and have some fun with me. So, hey, lesson learned. Take care, guys. Have a good night.
All right, man.
Take care,
Yeah,
guys.
Mark.
Later. Hey, what's up, EBR? You missed it. I was showing something on that Draco modular drone, and it might have been able. Matt says he watched the video. He doesn't like the single stick design. It used to be a double stick. Well, Matt, you have to keep in mind that actual joystick was designed for someone who may not have two arms or two hands, and it's basically for single usage. Hey, Rod Picker Drones from the UK. Thanks for popping in. We appreciate it.
It
Always.
actually makes the
Well,
movement a lot smoother than the dual stick movement.
It's
Right.
more precision flying. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. But not to say you don't have to be handicapped to use it, because damn, I want one.
Yeah.
Well, Paul made a good point though. If you buy it at the pre-sale, the early price, you could probably turn around and almost get your money back anyway.
Yeah. And maybe even a little bit more, because I think they're gonna, once the word gets out, and they're gonna sell, kind of like Osmo Pocket.
My only fear is DJI better not have nothing in the archives close to it, or that could be.
See, I don't think
I only
so.
pray that they don't.
I was talking with Curtis in the after show, and I said, I think this is going to be proof of concept, and DJI is going to show up with a big checkbook and is going to buy it up and sell it, because they've been working with DJI on this whole project.
Right. Well, they needed. Well, that's understandable, and that would make a lot of sense. DJI might have said, "Here, okay, we'll give you enough code to get our general format. We use an aperture.
Yep.
We use a color.
Yep.
We use a style setting. So as long as it doesn't look like ours and it's not in the same exact place, which I saw the app, the camera's on the same side, but the button is like driving a different car. You get in the car, your radio's here, someone else's radio's down lower. The knobs are in different places. So if they were working with DJI on that, I think that's a great idea. But if DJI comes in and buys it from them, that's just pure gangster.
Well, right now they're operating no different than, say, Lychee is, and all these other companies that are writing stuff and doing things.
Yeah, and even Lychee.
The thing what I'm saying as far as DJI, and I'm not to say that I'm the naysayer, but DJI has Tap to Fly that draw stuff and all of that on the screen. If they develop that, you won't even need that controller.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
but Herman, But Herman, in my particular case, and we talked about that last night, is I don't want to have to stop my flight to go start tapping and flying on the thing while it's hovering, and the target that I'm watching is sailing off away from me.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Right.
But for somebody who cannot use that controller,
That's true, but I don't see that I don't see that particular controller taking over the drone world. In
No.
fact, I see it. I see people in other countries with that controller flying drones and fixed wings to drop off organ parts and stuff like that. I can see an office full of guys with that joystick right there, and they got the coffee in the other hand, you know, and they're delivering Uber Eats or something like that. Who the hell knows? But there are a lot of uses I see for it.
Yeah.
well, I
Definitely.
see it doing well. I'm just saying to you, if it would, people would have to just try it. But for those who cannot use it for other difficulties, like I said, that tap to fly, draw to fly, those type of things will take off more for those people if DJI wants to develop that thing.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
And I did not see them.
Me, I love
I
it.
did not see them either. I don't know if you guys can speak up on it or not, but I did not see any smart functions.
What do you mean?
Like active track or
Yeah. They is in the after show they showed Herman, what was it? It brought up all these different
Yeah,
things.
you can bring up everything like you do from your controller, whatever you can, like how you have buttons you can program, like how I always bring up the camera settings from the program button on the bottom.
Yep. And it had a wheel where you selected the
So
program.
they have,
Yep.
yeah, you can do all of that from controller. Almost everything that you can bring up from your DJI controller, you can bring it up with this.
Yeah. Well, it's a kind of a wait and see thing, you know. It's like
Yep.
I want to, like anything else. If I don't need to
Right.
get it, I've got the smart controller. I'm happy as a clam right now with that thing. You know, it's not perfect, but it's great, and I can take a wait and see attitude myself.
Hey, Town Gambler, thanks for popping in. I wanted to ask you, Mike, about that controller. Have you tried using any of the smart functions?
Yeah, they work.
I mean, I haven't even seen the controller myself. Hey, what's up,
Yeah.
Geek Spawner? But at first, when it came out, there were a few smart functions that didn't work on it. So I was wondering if you had got a chance to play with most of them, if not all of them.
Yeah, all I've used so far is the tap fly and the point of interest, and I'm not into any of the dronies and all that stuff. But everything seems it's just like you got a phone in there, except it's all in one piece, and the screen gets as bright as what is it? The other screen DJI makes.
Sky?
Yeah, Crystal Sky.
Yep.
Or basically the same
About
technology.
that in the sun, because you're making it so that you don't have to use a sunshade anymore.
Yeah.
Like Herman just gave me one of his that was a little complicated to put together, but Herman has this telescopic sunshade that I like that stands about this tall. And once you put your eyes in there, it's like you're in a freaking movie theater in IMAX.
Right.
But I was wondering about that. But
Yeah, but then you get jumped.
huh? Yeah,
Then you get jumped.
well, no, not really, because usually when we fly, we don't fly alone here.
Right.
But
Well,
I
I don't worry about those things.
what happened, Herman?
I don't worry about those things. What I do worry about is things like what has happened to me.
Hey, Mike, do you know what the 1-2 is?
The one.
Yeah, Herman knows how to throw a 1-2.
I had
Okay.
an old lady one time.
You threw the old lady a 1-2.
No. I was into what I was doing, and I was down in the thing, and I'm trying to do this orbit, and I'm, for me, I have to stand up and fly and move, because if I don't move, I got, this back, and it cuts off the circulation to the leg and all. It's a whole big story from the injury.
Right.
Oh, Curtis.
And
howdy, guys.
how you doing, Curtis? I'm down inside the hood, and the old lady walks up to me right up in my ear while I'm flying. She's like, "May I ask you what is it that you're doing?" And I'm flying, and she says to her friends, "He said he's flying."
I remember that.
I'll be right back. I can't hear Curtis now, of course.
Okay.
So I'll be right back.
Oh,
Okay.
can you guys not hear me?
Curtis. Every time someone comes,
Oh no, we hear you. It's just he's having problems.
Oh, okay.
Operating difficulties over.
how are you, Curtis? And thanks for popping in to Sunday nights with those guys.
Hey, love to join you guys' show. Not a problem. I was over on my channel. I've kind of neglected my channel over the last year or so. I've been focusing on the other channel we're doing, and I just noticed like 100 comments over there on some of my videos. So I was trying to answer them, and then I got a ding. It says, "Oh yeah, hey, somebody wants you to join." So hey, here I am.
Okay, cool. We were talking about the controller and the do's and don'ts and the wants and what ifs of the controller. Nothing
I'll be
major.
right back.
A lot of people seem happy with it and want it. And right now, the only skirmish that I've heard anyone close have anything to say about it, and that is we need to find a way to adapt the 7-inch tablet to it.
Yeah, that. So I did contact him last night, and it was late last night, and talked to him about that, and a couple other things as well. And this is all stuff they're going to be working on.
Yeah. Right now, the way it's in pre-sale mode, and that's exactly what you want to do. You want to make pre-sales, and then you
Restart.
have a soft opening, and then you have a main sale of the item. So they're doing it right.
This is a new company too, so they're trying very, very hard not to make missteps. New companies always make mistakes, and they're trying very, very hard not to make any missteps on here. So they wanted to not try to throw everything in the pot just at once. They want to make sure they have a solid product. They have a solid product. Solid product that a mass majority of folks can kind of get into, and that was kind of the feedback I got from them. There are accessories coming, but right now they wanted to focus on let's get this product right, let's get it into people's hands, and then let's start getting feedback from them and then improve from there.
Well, no, they're doing it the way you should start out with a company. Too many people give their all, and then when someone goes, "Is that all you got?" and then they stand there going, "Humana, humana, humana," So they're doing trust me, they're doing the right thing. We were just talking about, like I said, what ifs and what could be done, and I had just said I only pray that the mother company DJI out there doesn't have something in the archives or sketched down and say, "Hey, either we buy them out or we put this out." I would like.
Yeah, they're very aware that DJI could buy them out. They're very aware of it.
I just hope they don't, and that these guys make a little bit of money, and then DJI step to them and say, "Hey,
I don't know, Lawrence. I mean, if DJI walked up to you tomorrow and says, "Okay, we'll give you $6 billion for that company,"
okay,
would you say, I'm going to hold off for a while?
And I'd come home and say, "Honey, I have a very important job to do in Timbuktu. I'll see you tomorrow." No, I would jump on the offer too. You're right about that.
Skate with all the money, Lawrence?
No, I was joking, man. Cut it out.
Hey, Herman, I don't want to derail the whole conversation, but I want to say I did watch your show this morning, or not your show, but your video this morning out at the 5 boroughs that you guys did.
Yeah.
Love that location. I got to go out there and fly someday. That's a really cool location. I want to get low to the ground where all the wreckage is inside the water there, just under the surface and stuff. Yeah. I want to do some low flights over that. That would be really, really cool. Here in the Pacific Northwest, we're really an ecology-based area, and anything that's left in the water, they immediately want to drag it out. Like old shipwrecks and stuff like that. I mean, they've been in. I don't know if you guys have heard of Galloping Gertie, the original Tacoma Narrows bridge that crashed into Puget Sound. Had the big windstorm that came through. Anyway, Google
swinging, and then it went
Yeah,
down.
the cars are on it, and it went down in the
Right.
it's a suspension bridge. Anyway, they've been pulling that thing up out of the water. I don't know why. There's no reason to. It's like it's steel. It's going to corrode over time. It's not going to hurt anything down
Hey,
there. But
Kurt, there's a ship graveyard Herman could show you in Staten Island.
oh yeah, I got to come out there and hang out with you guys sometime this summer.
There's also a little yellow submarine in that water too.
Yes, man-made that actually did work but ran aground.
Yeah, I think the guy had worked over at the Navy Yard years ago. They built that submarine, and
and it's painted yellow.
yeah, it's yellow. It's still stuck in the water there for all these years.
Back from the 60s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, probably earlier than that might be. Yeah, probably right around.
Somebody's listening a little bit to the Beatles too much and took it seriously.
Right. A little too much LSD.
Who knows?
So yeah, my wife and I are talking about a European trip, and we talked about stopping in New York for a week. And she wants to go shopping, and I want to go flying, and I'm going to definitely hook up with you guys if this happens.
Kurt, all I can say is let us know a week ahead of time.
Yeah, definitely.
I will cancel shit. We can just fly. You want to fly during the day? You want to fly at night? You want to trust me? Just have batteries.
I got batteries. I got 28 of them.
Batteries. Just have batteries and time.
Well, that if you look right there where we were at, behind where we were is an airfield there, an AMA airfield right there.
Yes.
So,
an AMA airfield, but you have an option of bridges, skyscrapers, buildings. There's a lot of urban flying to be done here, but then I live south of JFK International Airport, and there's 8 miles of beach out here. There's tons of beaches, so you want just name it and let us know when you're coming. Seriously.
Well, I'm bringing a ton of stuff with me. Not only DJI quads, but I've got some FPV quads and some wings that I'm going to be bringing as well. So, yeah, no, the wife and I have been together long enough that when she understands that if she's going to go shopping, it's okay for me to go flying. Our relationship is solid based on that right there.
That's a great relationship there. It's not as good as mine and my wife's, because as long as she can buy purses, she doesn't see the additions that are being added.
Well, and last night it was interesting. We found out that you actually have a wife tracker on her, so you know where she is at all times. that was interesting. I didn't know that.
Hey Kurt, someone says in the chat room, if you have a flyaway using this controller, and I could say, Matt, the only way that you really have to worry about flyaways nowadays is if you didn't calibrate your bird. I've always seen flyaways due to people not calibrating.
GPS reason for flyaway.
What happened?
That GPS is the reason for flyaway. That
But if like Herman and I were talking about earlier, and we're starting to do a lot of our
You're watching another episode of Phantom Flight 101.
What happened?
I was over here checking out Phantom Flight 101.
What was that, Herman? That ship graveyard or whatever that was? Those look like old wooden halls or something.
Now that right?
That what you saw in that video? That's like some barges and it looks like the end of the pier that was over there might have been a beach or something there years ago.
Right.
They don't fell apart, but there's some old boats and stuff out there, and that submarine. But in Staten Island, there is a ship graveyard out there where there's some really heavy stuff that's been sitting in that water for years. Yeah, and they just leave them out there.
Hey Val.
Hey Val.
Hold on, Val's giving us a hearing test. I hear a high pitch. Hold it. It faded away. Does that mean I pass?
I think she had
hold on a second.
Let me while she's doing that, let me answer Big Matt 423's question. What assurances can you get your drone fixed or repaired if you buy this controller? So this is a kind of a bone of contention with me, because for those of you who are not familiar, DJI releases what's called an SDK, and that SDK other programmers are able to utilize the programming of the drone to develop other software. Lychee is one example. Air Data is another example where they're able to create an app that works in conjunction with that. If you have a flyaway with Lychee, originally it was said, hey, that is considered a DJI issue, and DJI, you know, if you crash in a tree, of course not. But if it's a fault of the Lychee app, then it's under warranty. That has since changed from, and it could change again. But the last that I've heard was, no, it's an issue for Lychee, not for DJI, even though it's developed in conjunction with DJI. So I'm going to go out on the ledge here and say, and they probably don't want me to say this, but I'm going to say that if you have a flyaway of any sort, you're going to be responsible for it if you're using the FT Aviator. Now, I'm not 100% for certain, and I base my statement on what I know about Lychee and what they're kind of going through right now. The same with Drone Deploy and Pix4D. They got the SDK, and they've had some issues where drones are crashing, and obstacle avoidance is not working, and they've had a crash. And DJI said, nope, you're using a third-party vendor. But at the same time, the third-party vendor is developing software based on the DJI Go 4 app. So
Right, with DJI's permission.
Exactly. So in my line of, and it has to be approved by DJI. So they can't, even though you have the SDK, you still have to submit to DJI, here's what we are doing before it is even approved. So
19 minutes. 19.
Are we interrupting Val or something?
No.
I think so. It's either that or she's doing rap.
Could be. So that's kind of my feeling on it. I think yes, if DJI is going to release the SDK to create software, to create applications and usage for their drones, and then approve it once it is developed, I think that fits underneath the DJI umbrella. Now, this is only my personal opinion.
Well, you know what? To be honest, Kurt, that could be the smartest thing DJI could do.
Okay.
And the reason I say it's the smartest thing, because there are thousands and thousands of ideas, peripherals, and things that could possibly work with DJI and possibly can't. Now, by DJI sitting back, you just sit there and you twiddle. Hey, Val, you sit back and you twiddle your thumbs as DJI. And if something like this controller comes out, you say, hey, let's offer them 10 million and be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's applicable to DJI's purpose. And
How you doing, Val?
Man.
hey, Val.
Hey, Val,
Hey, Novice. Oh my gosh.
I'll be right back. I can't hear Val.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, every time he's having
The same problem Roger had.
Roger issues.
it's
just
called
like
Roger syndrome. When somebody pops in, you can't hear them.
So he goes out and comes back in again.
Okay. So
Curtis is here, Val.
let's see. Hey, Mike, can you hear me now? Mike.
No.
Mike,
can you hear the rest of us?
No, just you now, Paul.
Can you hear me, Mike?
I hear you, Curtis.
Okay.
And
No, let me try again. Sorry, guys. My computer needs replacing bad.
just restart the whole thing. That should work. Anyway,
Curtis.
Kurt, no matter which direction it goes, it can only go forward. The way I see it.
Oh, I agree.
You know, and I'm actually happy to see someone come out with some tech made in the freaking United States that works.
Yeah.
You know,
what I'm saying?
That's the gimmick.
It's made in the United States and it works. It's not a Japanese company here in the United States saying it's made in America. You know what I'm saying? Like Autel, hint, hint, Autel.
Yeah, and you know, Autel's located up here. Not their main headquarters, but their distribution site here in the United States is located about 2 hours from me.
Do you know anything? I was actually going to do a segment on that live. What the hell is it? Live Deck. Do you know anything about Live Deck?
No, I haven't even heard of it.
Okay, well, Autel, they came out with a box that you can hook up to your controller, and it makes your controller an operation center. In other words, you're doing search and rescue. This box will hook up to 3 different HDMI supported devices and some other devices via Ethernet. And I thought it was a great idea because they show that law enforcement is actually using Autel Evos out in the Midwest. And for search and rescue, they have a 72-inch screen TV with using these
Here's
Autel.
something.
Can you hear now, Mike?
Mike.
Testing, Mikey. Can you hear me?
I hear you, Curtis.
Mike, you can hear me.
No, can't hear you. I hear you on the playback. Darn it.
Can you hear me,
Restart.
Mike?
I'll try one more time, guys. Sorry.
Well,
Well, Mike, do you
Maybe
have
I
another
think it was.
device you can listen to on?
well, maybe if he shut the whole thing down like he did before and come
Right.
back,
He did do that. He did do that once before.
and he
But
got everybody.
anyway, this live deck thing, I had a video of it. I'm not going to show the video, but from what I understand, you can hook up several peripherals to it, and while the pilot's flying through FPV or using his screen, you can see it on a large screen TV or stream it to other devices. And I thought that was kind of interesting because DJI should have something like that for their drones.
Do you have a link to that? I can take a look.
Yep, I'm going to do it right now, sir.
You the man. You the man.
Here it is. Introducing Live Deck by Autel Robotics. I'm not going to lie. It's impressive. If I didn't want an Autel, I would like this box just to have. Seriously.
So it will work with other drones?
No, unfortunately, no. I was just wishing it
no.
aloud. There you go. That's the link to it.
Okay.
And
What the hell?
supposedly you have 3 different outputs, but you can hook it up to a television screen. You can hook it up to any device. If you hook it up to the internet, you can stream it. So
You
that's
can make that, right?
you can stream it live. I would just say it would be great for 107 pilots.
You know you can make that,
You know
right?
how you're doing a job, 107 pilot is doing a job, and you always have the client there trying to look over your shoulder. Well, you could hook it up to an FPV screen or an external screen using this live deck, and he can sit the hell down while you do what you're supposed to do.
Call part 54 on the back of your, or you put it on the bottom of your controller.
Oh, that's a part
I
54.
apologize. I'm just going to watch on the. On
Hold
the,
on.
Oh, I hear
Mike,
you now, Val.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yay!
Can you hear me?
Yes.
What about me?
Hello.
And
Hey, what
I hear
about
you, Paul.
What about Herman?
Can you hear me?
Nope.
But
What
that's
about-
okay. Don't go anyway. You don't need to hear Herman.
You
Wow.
didn't interpret for me?
We'll translate Herman for you.
Okay.
Herman's not even talking.
Herman's got enough shows, so maybe he's taking up too much YouTube space, and they're like muting him no matter what, you know.
Val came on like, you know, we
I'm
were
just curious of my
her.
settings. And
Here we go.
Well, all I can say is that live deck I could see it being used in a lot of different places. I usually try to find something. Herman gave me some good news today. Now, and we try on Wednesday nights with those guys, and we try on Sunday nights with those guys to have some kind of drone news that maybe you may have heard of, but hopefully you haven't. You know, and he let
When I
me
get-
know that 3 stories that we've done on between Wednesday nights with those guys and Sunday nights with those guys, they just did on drone. What is it? Drone U, Herman?
Yeah, this week they
Right.
featured on
This
Drone U.
week's show on Drone U. All 3 of their stories we covered. So
Nice.
I felt kind of good about that. It's like, wow, maybe it is starting to pay off looking for all of this stuff. But getting back to you, Kurt, when are you going to be doing another show?
Well, you brought up Drone U, and I have a bone of contention.
You have a what?
A bone of contention.
He's contending a bone.
Val, behave.
My contention is that if you're going to put on a show and you're going to call yourself a news station, specifically a news station. And I'm not talking about, somebody that's just having a live show and just talking about, oh, I think this and I think that, my speculation this and my speculation that. If you're going to be a news station, you need to get the facts right. And in my particular case, I've caught him 3 times, and I didn't even watch the show. I've caught him in 3 separate times where they've spouted facts about me or one of my friends that were incorrect, and I mean massively incorrect.
Oh, get out of here.
No, they didn't do their due diligence, and they did not do their research, and it wasn't difficult research to do. There was a question. So a lot of people know that I do the 3D graphics.
Yes.
And the question came up on their show that they were doing live, or they reported it. No, that was not live. It was a recording that they did. And they said they were amazed that Dart Drones, the company Dart Drones, which is owned by Curtis Dart, is now doing 3D graphics. Okay, I don't know if you're familiar with Dart Drones. Dart Drones is a company that teaches people how to fly, teaches them their 107, stuff like that. They're a nice company. I've talked to them. I tried to sue them for the name. No, I didn't do that. But it would just take a little bit of research if you're going to be a news company to find out if I am actually associated with that company at all, or if they are actually selling 3D graphics, which they are not. They are specifically in the business of teaching 107 pilots to fly.
So you're saying basically
they got the facts.
You.
Well, I'm not going to go say slander. I'm going to say they got the facts wrong in my particular case. There are 2 other cases that are a little bit more lengthy, and one of them having to do with where a product that I was involved with that is being developed and was produced from, and gave a bunch of false information about it that scared the vendor away from actually producing the product anymore.
Wow.
So, yeah. And they totally got where the product was made. They totally got where it was being sold from. I mean, it was being sold here in the United States, but they said it was being made in Thailand. And they've just scared, the vendor was so scared that, oh, I've got a bad reputation now and nobody's going to buy my product, that he just decided not to release it, not to do anything with it. So again, they got something wrong and did not do the due diligence of contacting the person and getting the facts right first. They just wanted to make a statement. So I don't have any, how shall I say this? I don't have any respect for Drone U.
Okay.
You can take,
so Curtis, did
you
they
can
ever
take
come
that
back and correct themselves on live? Did they ever come back and say, "Hey, we got this wrong"?
In two of the 3 cases I got involved with them, I contacted them personally and talked with Paul, and he said, "Well, I didn't know that." And I go, "So are you going to retract this? Are you going to do anything?" He goes, "Yeah, I'll say something on Facebook or something."
Oh,
it
wow.
seemed very trivial. It seemed very trivial to him. And I thought, this is not doing in the first case of Drone Darts, which is a very reputable company doing an honorable thing. He misrepresented them. He misrepresented me and my business, and he kind of felt it was a trivial thing. So no respect. Sorry. Anybody that watches Drone U, you can tell Paul what I said. Paul knows how I feel about him.
No, that's understandable, and I appreciate you letting me know in the event I was to ever see a video or something like that. I hear it straight from the horse's mouth. So
I mean, I know that they want to be the news guys, and that's not an easy job to do. I understand that it takes time to gather all of this information.
But fact checking is a part of news.
Exactly. So if you are going to do it, you need to do it. And on our show, the Drone Owners Network, the stuff that we discuss, we fact check. And this has been pounded into me not only by me, but the guys that I work with work for NBC. So they're not going to let stuff slide. The first thing we say is, anytime somebody says, "Oh, well, I heard this," they're like, "We need sources, we need whatever." We want to be able to back up what we say on that show. So there is that. So now you have a little bit of controversy. You're going to get contacted by Paul and everybody else on your show.
No,
So Paul, what do you have to say for yourself?
What do they call
excuse me, I didn't fact check that. It wasn't him.
What do they call drone who?
Yeah.
Is it time? Is that what you're telling me now?
No. Oh God! For the love of God, no.
Now I will say that there are other folks that are on that channel that are very that are excellent. that do a good
Well,
job.
the fact that you did contact him and asked was he going to retract it, and he said, yeah, I'll do it on Facebook, and didn't do it publicly on his main forum.
Yeah.
Says a lot about it, the individual. But I just started getting into it, and I try to look for stuff that's going to sound or at least look interesting, that something that someone might go about, and I didn't know. I try to fact check stuff myself because people do.
It's hard to do. It is really, really hard to do. You read one thing and then somebody else will grab it and they'll run with it and make it like their own, and you don't know if it's theirs and what they're saying is true or not. So you have to have to go back to the sources sometimes and
right. And then you have the guys out there, the people out there that do what they call clickbait.
Oh yeah.
And what it is, it's like Val just came out with a new lens, universal lens that you can put on any drone, and here it is right here, and it's a video of Val showing it. So what I do is I record that and put it on my channel and get hits for it.
Yeah, and everyone knows that I believe in a good lens with duct tape. I mean, if you're gonna do it, and I don't know that it will work, but in my head it seems like it might. So I'm gonna go start promoting my new lens.
Val, how long before you go to Canada to hang out with Roger and Kim?
Yeah. Well, I'm flying out of here on the 10th, but I'll be in Canada on
the 10th of July,
the 17th.
Okay, all right.
How long is the flight?
Huh?
How long is that flight?
7 days.
7 days.
Wow.
No, I'm heading out to see my dad, and I'm gonna go see my
Okay. I
sister.
thought you were gonna start.
Then I'm gonna fly in and see Mike Roche and Centroid and Louis P. And then I'm heading up to go see Roger and Kim. And then I'm coming back and I'm gonna see Herman.
So basically you're going on tour.
New York?
Basically, you're going on tour. So that means you're coming through New York then.
Well, if I took the train, but Herman said there were rats on the train, because I was going to call you guys, try to get a layover for at least an hour, and then have you guys come meet me and maybe have coffee. But Herman goes, "There's rats on the train. They eat Kentucky Fried Chicken." I thought, well, I like Kentucky Fried Chicken. Huh?
You haven't seen Pizza Rat?
No.
Oh God, hold on. You guys stalled.
No, guys, I do not like rats.
No.
Except for the one I sat on. But other than that, I don't care for them.
Val, Pizza Rat was made famous. He went viral here in New York. Okay.
You sat on a rat, Val?
Huh?
It's just like a big giant sewer rat.
No, my rat was a rat that was like this big with a long tail.
That's big.
And then it was my son's, and he had it, and the rat went under my chair, and then I sat down, and the rat kind of like went weird. So he was like full body, and then little teeny body. And he was
Can you guys see Paul's face when she was describing that? Paul's face was great.
Okay. Val, you can turn your head away, but for those of you who have not seen Pizza Rat was made famous by someone walking down the stairs in the subway. And this goes to show you how bold the rats are here in New York City. So if you give me a second, I'll screen share it. It's only a few seconds of video, but you can imagine what it is, what's happening here. Okay, let me go to screen here. Blow this up. Now, this is Pizza Rat.
Hey, Paul, it's your pizza. Go get him. Look at that. What the hell?
That's Pizza Rat. He's taking it home to the family. Now, he leaves it there, and he winds up going back and dragging it down onto the subway tracks and disappearing. But that's Pizza Rat.
You got to eat.
I thought that was Amazon delivery.
Yeah, that's part of their new drone service. Without the drone.
Yeah.
Well, he takes it the rest of the way.
Yeah, I'll be right back, guys. Hey, Mr. Crowley. Yeah, you can order one of my lenses. Comes with a long piece of duct tape and then one of those pieces of plastic that I spray paint orange.
Al Diaz in the chat says they promote themselves too much. Every video is a commercial for them. You can't really fault them for that. I mean, you can have an opinion about that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the fact checking that I have an issue with. And when they don't fact check on something that I personally know about, I look at their whole show and go, what else is not true?
The fact that you went to him and asked could he retract his statement was all you could do.
Yeah.
You know, because I would honestly say I do know of certain individuals that would have said, could you please retract the statement? And when he said he could do it on Facebook, they would have retracted their fist out of his face.
Yeah.
You know, but
I would say retract it right on the air.
No, what did you say, Mike?
I would say if a person wants to be respected, retract it right up front on the show on YouTube, just like you did it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. And I thought that was, that's what should happen. But he just kind of he goes, oh, okay, whatever, and it just kind of blew the whole thing off. I thought, well, okay, that's enough with him. And then we had two other little issues that we ran into. And I thought, I'm just not even going to pay attention to this guy anymore. In the big scheme of things, it's really nothing for me or for anybody else. And probably shouldn't even have brought it up, but it's like, it's like that little, that little spot where you sit down and your back's not quite right and you a little twist and it just kind of hurts a little bit, it's one of those things.
Well, no,
but
that's completely understandable, and I appreciate you for sharing that, because it always lets you know the inside on something. When somebody gives you information like that, it makes you go because you see that particular live stream and you're like, oh, they're very professional and stuff. But I don't know if it was Herman, but someone else pointed out something to me that they were doing on the show that, like you said, they did not fact check, and in fact, the information they gave out was wrong. So I could see what you're talking about, Kurt, and understand that, like, it's a little thorn in the side. It doesn't hurt, but only when you move to that side you feel it or remember it.
Well, anybody who's been involved in a news story knows, if you're in the story, how inaccurate the media is, whether it's YouTube or even regular media, so often. I've been in some local news stories in the paper, whatever, and it's like the details that matter that they actually just get wrong all the time.
When I was when they were reporting on that stabbing that I was the witness to, they didn't say the right house or where they were. They had the guy running off and people chasing him. They had all kinds of things that never happened. All kinds of things in the paper. And I got to say, I must be a little naive, because I was shocked that they would they want that story so fast. They want those things so fast. It's not true. They just put it out anyway. I think that's what happened with Curtis. They were trying to get that show put together. They wouldn't just threw it out. And fact checking was somewhere way down on that list.
Yeah, it was an aside kind of thing, but it took center stage in their show, and I went back and I had several people message me going, "Dude, Drone U's talking about you, and they got it all wrong." Friends of mine that know what I do and stuff. It at this point, and this was years ago. This was let me see, it was probably 2 years ago. I'm gonna say off the top of my head, I don't remember the exact date when all this went down, but it was like, wow, just wow. You're promoting yourself as this big news organization that's reporting all the facts and being the leader of the industry. And I don't have any problem with folks trying to be the leader of the industry, but you got to fact check. You got to get your stuff right.
Yeah.
Well, and just pulling it from another news source isn't fact checking.
No.
It just isn't. And I'm the first to say that none of my stuff is true. So no. It's in my head and I go, it seems like it could be true, so I'll just say it. Like everyone else. No.
Say that Val is 100% true, because she made me look like I know what the hell I'm doing.
Well, keeping in line with fact checking. So let me get this straight. So you stabbed someone?
Yeah, see, that's kind of what happened. I was it's really nice that I got to be a witness to a stabbing. That was not good, but I was really clear in what I was seeing, and I worked for the courts long enough to know there are certain things you kind of have to notice. And so when they came out with, this one person being there, and it wasn't me, so I was in the what? But luckily, no one gave the newspaper my number. They wouldn't. They came knocking and asked for it, but they wouldn't give it to him. So I was like, good, because I don't want anyone. The police can contact me. I talked with them about what happened and what I saw, but I didn't want to talk to the news. That so makes court when you're on the news and you talk about, well, then I saw, you have a tendency to say sensationalize.
Well,
So it's not good.
Well, you want to know what? I had something similar happen to me when my daughter, there's an elementary school behind my house that my daughter was attending. And we did not find out. My nephew-in-law, who lives in Utica, New York, okay, which is about 300 miles from here, send me a message on Facebook saying that they shut down Kyla's school, my daughter's school. So I'm like, well, what the hell are you talking about? He says, yeah, a kid came into school with a gun. They shut the school down. So I'm like, well, you know what? When did this happen? And how did you hear this news? He says it's on the For Rockaway Facebook page. Now, immediately I walk out of the house and go to the school and find out that there were parents outside that can't get their children because it was close to at the end of the school day. And they did not give a letter or anything, but they had a reporter out there from New York One, and she asked to speak to me, and I was explaining, yes, I didn't hear anything about this shooting. The school did not call me, and I found out about it from my nephew in Utica, New York. Well, when the story got written down in the paper, it was parent gets called from outside of the city that a school is locked down. So that I know what you're saying about them twisting stories up and people doing it, but they do it for a living though.
I don't have any problem with reporters. I think they have a job to do, and sometimes you get really good reporters who are really tenacious about making sure they have sources and making sure it's right. And then you have some who are a little bit lighter in their news style. If I can say it that, they're a little bit lighter, like the ones who work on them. And I don't think we're ever going to say, don't watch a certain channel because, you watch what you want to watch, go where you want to go. We're a forgiving group, but just make sure if you do something wrong, just kind of come up and say, hey, this is what I saw happen, and just, and then make the correction.
Hey, wake up, Paul.
Poor Paul. He's been like 24/7 stream. He's past Roger now.
Burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to thank a couple of guys for last night, Herman and Paul, for coming on, and all the people that were in the chat. I did not plan on doing that last night. It just seemed like it was a fun thing to do. And Paul gave me the christening that I was looking for. We got the brownies on there.
Did you get the funky chicken?
We got the brownies.
We got the funky chicken, and we got the therapy doll all in one show.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's the only way to do it.
Philly jumped in with several. Oh my God!
Yeah,
Crowley. It's so funny,
Herman,
Mr. Crowley.
We got a bunch of these from Herman. Like,
yeah, here we go. Here we go.
He's a great character. Okay. Very good. Very good. Paul, you have a great evening, man.
Love you, Paul. What do you mean you won't be back in time for what?
Well, going to hell to sleep.
To get on here. I'll be on I'll be with you.
Okay, just making sure. And so while we're getting ready to go, do you mind if I talk about my show tonight?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I was hoping.
Okay. So tonight, I think, well, my kids are all coming over for a barbecue. And I told him, sorry, go on live because I'm that kind of mother. I'm a giver. And, but I wasn't making a cake for him. So I got to go finish that up. I know I don't know why my kids keep me. Anyway, they planned this. I didn't. I'm like, what? I go on. I have a show. Yeah, they don't care. They just laugh at me. But anyway, Robert Banks is coming on for us to finish up. He's going to try to get on for us to finish up his interview where we're talking about where he was raised and how that was being raised out in the area he was. And he was raised in Las Vegas, actually, and now he's in Maryland. So it might be fun to hear what was going on with him. But I also want to talk about a different idea I have. And Curtis, I'm hoping at some point tonight you're going to be able to join me, because I want to figure out how to, and we can always do it offline, how to do something with my show that's going to be a little bit different, but I'm not sure how to do it where it works. Do you know what I mean? Like with Zoom and OBS and all that, I need some extra stuff. I need to think about it a little bit. And you're the guru as far as I'm concerned on this. And I thought maybe you could help me. And we could do it live where we can talk and people can kind of get an idea of how that works when you're trying to make things work.
I am free and at your service.
Oh, yes. And that's why I so totally adore you. Thank you. And Herman and Mike and Novice, of course, you're welcome on. But the first maybe a little bit of time I'm going to spend with Robert. He's, lifts weights. He does all that. Herman, it might be something that you understand because you used to be a gym rat. Are you allowed to call people that now? I need some fact checking here. Call him a gym rat.
I don't know. It all depends on
I don't.
My son used to call it the dog and pony show. When he used to
pony show.
What are you going to use tonight, Val, for your stream? What are you going to use? Zoom?
I'm going to use Zoom. I'm going to use Zoom, cool. So you should be good, Mike, if you want to come on. But I want to talk about doing something a little bit different, but I'm not exactly sure. And I kind of like to talk through that process if you guys have time.
So you're trying to get some direction.
Yeah, I want direction. I want to know how I can do it and what I would need to put on to make it work. Well, it's not about drones, guys. I'm sorry. It's about doing something else a little bit different. But I'm hoping you won't hold that against me.
No,
what is it you want to do?
We're broad-minded people here, so
you're gonna have to be because you never know. I may come visit you. And by the way, I'm going to be in Seattle on the 7th. I will be waving out the window.
You'll be 2 hours away from me.
Yeah, I'm going to be waving as I go over. You're in Washington, but you're in this Vancouver, Washington, or Olympia. I forgot where you are, but I'll be waving because I'm flying right over you.
That's not actually stopping though.
No, I'm not stopping, but I'll be waving. Hey,
but if you tell me what flight, I'll stop and get out and wave at the plane.
Okay.
Oliver has a question for you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rich Oliver has a question. Curtis Dart, do you know if the controller works with the DJI First goggles?
I don't know that. Do you know if Rick Harvard? Do you know if the controller works with DJI? I do not know that. I do not have the goggles to test it with either. I got to find somebody that has a set of those goggles.
Above and beyond.
Well, the goggles.
Okay, guys, I gotta go. Bye.
Right.
Hey Val, before you go, and for everybody else that's here, just a tidbit of information. I always have Facebook on when I'm home. So if you ever want to contact me and need something instantly, it's better than email. Just send me a friend request. I'll friend you guys. I know who all of you are, and hook up with me that way. And it's so much easier to get a hold of me on Facebook. I don't sit here and check email all day.
Lawrence Clark,
okay.
Me.
Bye.
Bye, Val.
All right.
I gotta finish that cake before I go on. Bye.
Bye.
Is it a picture of you? If you see something from Lawrence Clark, that'll be me.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen your name on Facebook there, Curtis. I'll friend request it too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Love to talk to you guys on Facebook.
Yeah,
but I have it on all day. That's the easiest way to get hold of me.
It's funny. Speaking about fake things, like we were talking about.
Okay, Curtis Dart, you're flying a drone?
Yep.
I got it. Add. I just requested.
Standing by for. There you are, right there, and confirm.
Okay, thank you much. Now I know I can hit you on Messenger. I actually respond to my phone faster than anything else because I usually have it near me. But
when I'm home during the day, now when I'm out at work, I've got my phone on. But when I'm home during the day, I kind of turn the volume off and just kind of go from there. But yeah, the easiest way to get hold of me and the way my clients get hold of me is just through Facebook Messenger. It's just super simple.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Messenger.
And let me understand, you fly FPV too?
Okay, Matt. Yeah, Matt just messaged me also. Yeah, we're gonna accept him. So a friend of mine and I got to talking a couple of years ago, and it's the old, you're not really flying unless you're flying FPV. So I went out and I said, well, what do I have to get? And he was telling me the stuff, he was going to be coming to Seattle, so I wanted to have it all handy. And I bought, DX8 or what is it? Can't even tell you.
Rick Halber says they show the black goggles on their site, so that's a possibility that there's some kind of interaction. Or what Rick Halber, that may be an option coming in the future, because they're still in pre-sale mode, and they said that they don't want to put all of their eggs into one basket. So if the goggles are on there and they do not work, I assume at some time and point, that's just a matter of firmware, actually.
Right.
That if it's so,
Well,
I could see that.
Well, from what I was looking at yesterday and understanding that the controller is still functional, all you're doing with those goggles are connecting to the controller.
You're essentially replacing the phone or the tablet with your goggles.
Do you, or is it working in conjunction with the
DJI goggles? Or
yeah,
the DJI goggles connect with the drone, not with the controller. So it's like, because I had a pair of the DJI goggles, and your controller and your goggles are both synced up with the drone separately on separate. They're both using wireless to the drone, and you can just have a second person watching with the goggles, or you can set it up where the person using the goggles can turn their head and move the gimbal around while the other person flies the drone.
Okay, Kurt, can you type in a room so I can give you a wrench?
No, I think it's all, a wireless connection to the drone. So if the controller is the actual thing sending the message to the drone on what to do, you would think the goggles would connect without interfering with that. But
right, why I'm saying to you, because the controller is still connected to the drone itself, while
you got one. Thank you.
It's only connecting to a device. You understand, via Bluetooth. So I can't see why it wouldn't. Your goggles are just connecting to the drone the same way you normally connect. If the controller is still connected, I don't see why that wouldn't connect. Now those goggles, if you use them with, say, something like the Phantom, they connect with a cord,
right?
The controller. So I don't see why that wouldn't work either.
Yeah.
Because the controller is still functional while this other controller is in.
But the controller has a different app, so that's another thing to consider. But who knows? A lot of questions.
In that case, I could see using the goggles, because I cannot see the phone. I cannot read a restaurant menu, but I can see a golf ball 100 yards away in the grass. So,
well, I just sent a text to Scott, so I'll find out here in a minute.
Okay, thanks. We appreciate you popping in, Kurt. And if ever one of us does forget to send you an invite, just say, hey, can I pop in or whatever? That's not an issue. Sometimes I may forget to send invites to people. Like there's actually one time I actually walked in 3 minutes before a show and was like, send this guy invite, send that guy invite. You know how it is. Yeah. You try not to rush. Like Herman and I were out flying, and he looks at the clock and goes, it's 11 o'clock already. And I like to try and come home and relax before a stream, which I didn't get a chance to do. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's the same way with our show. It is a mad. We try to have our show planned out by Wednesday, and then confirmations and everything in place. And any tests that we do, we have them done on Thursday, and then Friday we kind of don't really do anything. We stay in contact with everybody, maybe reconfirm schedules, or if somebody has an issue, we talk about that Thursday and Friday. Let me see. Hold on one second. I don't know, but they would have to have Bluetooth, and there's no way. Oh, let's see. So I don't know, but they would have to have Bluetooth, and there's no way it will work. They would have to have Bluetooth, or there is no way it will work. And this is from Telly, who was the guy that has the Fluidity right now.
Okay. All right.
So that's not from Scott. That's from one of my guys that have it.
That makes sense. That does make sense. A lot of sense, actually. Being that it connects to your device via Bluetooth.
Right. But continue what we were talking about. And then there's this big run up to our show, you know, the creation of the thumbnail and the creation of an intro, and then posting it in about 60 different Facebook groups and getting the word out that we're fixing to do a live show and stuff. And I'm also not 100% for sure that posting on Facebook is doing us any good. It's probably not hurting us, but the amount of effort that we put into posting in all these groups, I'm not really sure that's something that's kind of helping us. Spending more time kind of looking at the back end of things on YouTube, on improving the way we do things on YouTube, I think it's going to do better for us in the long run than post. And it takes like an hour to go through and post in all those groups.
I know. It's a job within itself, advertising for a live stream. Because if you do it too early on social media, they miss it, and if you do it too late, they miss it. So
yeah,
there's a very small window that you have to operate within before your show.
And live stream is a tough sell.
What happened?
I said live stream is a tough sell if you think about it. I mean, not from our point of view, because we're having fun doing it. I really enjoy doing this. I love interaction with other guys that like drones and solving problems together and creating solutions to stuff. I really, really dig that. That's a thing that I just enjoy doing. I walk away from this going, that was fun.
Well, you'll be glad to know that this week I will be doing a live Zoom test. Okay. I actually tested it and didn't know if the Zoom part worked, because, correct me if I'm wrong, and Herman helped me out Herman gave me an idea. But to get Zoom to work, I have to take the stream from Zoom and put it in OBS.
That's exactly how it's done.
The stream key from Zoom and put it in OBS.
Oh no, you got to put this. So what you want to do is you want to use Zoom as a gathering place for all yourself and your guest.
Right.
Then you put Zoom into OBS, and OBS becomes your doorway to get into YouTube.
Right, and then you click live stream instead of going to live events. That part I have. It was just well, either way, damn it, I'm gonna be doing some tests this week.
Now, I mean, if you're gonna, so it also depends on which version of Zoom you have. If you have the basic meetings version, there is no way to go live anywhere other than meetings.
That's what I had mentioned.
If you have the pro version, pro version, you can utilize Zoom by itself. You don't even need OBS, and you can broadcast multiple places. You can broadcast to Twitch, YouTube, Facebook.
I heard you
20 or 30 different groups, but you're talking about 50
links.
That's like $50 a month.
Okay. All right.
Now, here's the issue with doing that, and the only reason why I've kind of walked away from it. We're keeping track of live streams are about interaction with not only the guys on the panel, but interaction with the guys that are watching the show and answering their questions and taking. So how are you going to manage posting in Twitch, Facebook, and all this other place unless you have, something like Streamlabs or something like that, where you can
interact,
you can put all that together. Yeah.
On to social media as well.
So now you're out money for Streamlabs.
I see what you're saying. So now, so what do you prefer? What do you use? I mean,
so what we do is we set our show up about 15 to 20 minutes before we actually go live on Zoom. And then we take a look at each other's stream to make sure it's looking good. I always get critiqued about my background. Randy's got the best background of all of us. Everybody says I need to move my mic, but then everybody that listens to the show says my mic sounds better than everybody else's. So you're gonna have to suck it up. My mic's gonna be right.
That's a Phantom mic, correct? That's a Phantom plug. The mic.
Phantom powered plug, yes. It's an old Shure SM57. I've had it for about 30 years. This is my old radio mic.
See, I was getting ready to say that would be something that we would use back when I was doing internet radio in the late 90s, early 2000s. There used to be a service called Live Stream and Now Live. All of those were streaming services that you created an account on. As long as you had a webcam, you could do a live stream. You had a live chat room and all of that stuff.
Yeah, nowadays you've got these USB mics, so it's a lot easier. But I've got to run into a Focusrite unit to get my Phantom power, and then into my computer. It's a whole thing. Okay. But the sound and the quality of this mic is.
Well, I knew if you have a phantom mic, you're definitely running it through a mixing board.
Yep.
Yeah, because you need power.
Unlike Pusha Studios, who has it mounted right beside his ear when you're watching him.
Right.
That's okay. That's all right. It's 6:54.
So does it improve your singing voice, Curtis?
I'm sorry,
Does
what?
it improve your singing voice?
It's got a really good dynamic range, and I have done some stuff with some people that sing and sing loud. So yeah, it'll take some nice dB and some nice pressure against it. So yeah, there was a gospel thing that I worked with a while back, and the young lady in there just loved to belt out, and it was like, hey, you could hear fine, and the mic picked it up. It didn't distort at all. It was perfect.
Okay.
And my voice is loud too and carries, so that's another reason why I like this. I don't have to sit back, and I'm not using a windscreen or anything. But yeah,
Right, and you're
Right.
talking in a normal tone.
right.
You're talking in a normal tone. I'm gonna have to break down. We're going to this drone convention this week, and after that, there's a list of to-dos that I have to do electronically.
Yeah,
That
you
just
got
have to be done. And one of them is get a mic and stop using this webcam mic.
to get the mic,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, if I get a mic, if I get a Yeti, anything, but I have to get
Mic,
an individual
Controller and
professional mic.
that drone
What-
you're gonna pick up for me.
What you say?
We were talking about what we do on our show. I mean, let me kind of get back to that real quick and go over that. What we do is we meet up a little bit ahead of time. We make sure everybody's mic is working, everybody's connected. We test all the audio, all the video, all the photos, and make sure everything's going to play correctly in time. And there's some lock buttons that we put on OBS, and we lock everything down once it's a final go. And then we just kind of turn all of our microphones off like about 10 minutes before the show starts. And then everybody kind of gets up and walks around, does their thing, gets relaxed. I usually go throw water over my head or whatever. And then we start our show. But the way we run our show, we open it up with Zoom, and we're all connected. We run Zoom into OBS, and then OBS we run into YouTube.
Okay. I will definitely be doing some tests this week, regardless. Probably. Well, I have to start getting ready to go to the drone convention. Herman and I are going in Atlantic City, and we'll be there Thursday. We're leaving Thursday morning, and we'll be coming back Saturday.
So we'll tell you, if you're considering buying a USB mic, the quality of USB mics are so much better now than they were like a year ago. The one I would suggest to you is, and look into it, is the Samsung. Samsung has a USB mic out that also works as a monitor, just like Yeti. The insulation mount is a lot better than the Yeti. So if you're tapping on your desk or whatever, like right now I'm tapping, you can't really hear anything.
Right.
That's because of this insulation mount. The insulation mount on that is a lot better. Comes with a windscreen. It's its own monitor, so you plug your headphones directly into it. It's got a mute button, and it's got several different cardinal patterns so that you can turn off reflections from the back end of your microphone. You're only picking up from this direction, like I am right here. If I were to turn around and go over here, you won't hear anything. But right here, you hear everything, that kind of deal. Hello? You just froze up on us.
Who? Lawrence?
Yeah. Lawrence froze. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Drone Owners Network Live. I just stole the show. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. What is he, stuck over there? He'll come back.
Yeah, not a problem.
What's funny? One thing happened to me this week. I got an email the other day from the email that's in my About section on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretending, I think it's fake, pretending to be a microphone company to ask me if I wanted to test out, like, we've seen your content and we'd like you to try and do a review on this microphone. And they named it, showed a little picture and everything, but then there was no person named, no like president of whatever. And there was 3 things to click. Do you want to participate and all that stuff? I'm like, man, this is a phishing scam. First of all, I don't do anything with my drone videos, nothing with the microphone, and videotaping from an SLR or anything. And it just seemed like, I only have 300 people watching, subscribe. So I think I got a phishing email pretending to be a mic company asking me to do a review, which I've just found kind of odd. Oop.
Can you give me a second? I gotta check something real quick.
No problem.
I'll be right back. Trying to get back in.
It's you and I, Curtis.
Hey, yeah, we just took over the channel. What the heck? What do you want to talk about, Mike? What do you want to talk about? Welcome to the Drone Owners Network Live with Mike. Mike is my wonderful guest today. Great guy. You know,
hey, I like that sign you got behind you, the live on air sign. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you know, the guys give me grief about that too. But I thought when I saw that on Amazon, I was looking around for microphones and stuff. I didn't really think I was running into problems in the way that I have to route this particular mic. This mic is not designed for YouTube. It's designed for recording purposes. So
Right.
I was on Amazon and looking around for live broadcast stuff. And this came up as a suggested purchase. And it was like $60 or $70 and it was on sale for $24. And I was like, just buy it.
Yeah, it's
my wife got it. She goes, oh, I love that. That is the cutest thing. So if my wife likes it, I'm good to go. I got the best wife ever. I got to tell you.
Well, that's good.
Lawrence is having an internet issue over there.
Yeah.
Well, this show is now officially the Drone Owners Network live show.
Now the only problem with it is that
he can turn us off.
There's no way of him shutting this off.
Right. Till he gets to it.
Well, his internet's out.
Oh man.
So basically the show is just running and he's the only one that can actually close this hangout.
Yeah. Well, if we just all leave, it'll still be there, right?
It'll still be open, but the show will still be.
No, I think it will actually close. If we all close our browsers, I think it will close.
Right.
And if it closes, then it shuts it down.
Okay. So I guess I'll close the show then.
Yeah, well, I say we just keep going for a little bit and see if he can get back on.
Yeah, that's cool. Either way.
Yeah, Big Matt says the show must go on. That's the way it is.
That's right. People are still alive. Oh, I see Jim there above and beyond drones. Hi, Jim. And Rick Halber. Yeah.
So I don't think we can give you wrenches or anything like that. But yeah.
Right.
Welcome to live face or live YouTube, where anything can happen.
Coast to coast live with Art Bell in the middle of the night. Remember that guy?
Yeah. So what do you guys want to talk about? What do you got going on?
Oh, right now I'm not sure whether I'm going to watch YouTube tonight or go outside and have a fire. You know, it's nice out. I got to take advantage of the weather.
Well, they don't like fires up here.
Yeah.
We get way too many trees. When a fire starts, boy, you guys hear it on the national news.
Yeah.
We got to bring in planes and start putting out fires. I mean, it gets really, really bad. The undergrowth is the issue out here. There's just way too much undergrowth, and there's no way you can clean it up. I mean, when you go through the winter and the tree limbs break off and fall down from the weight of the snow and the ice and stuff, and they're just kind of sitting there rotting away during the summer, it becomes fodder for fire. And as soon as flames start, I mean, they just spread so fast.
Right.
And to pay people to go through and clear all that stuff out, that's a lot of money. And if you ever get a chance to come up here and look around, you'll go, holy mackerel. If I were to show you my backyard, you would think I would be living out in the middle of the forest somewhere, but I'm actually 3 blocks from downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the trees around here, freaking amazing. When we first came up here, and we were in Texas at the time, and as anybody's well aware, Texas is flat. You can see Dallas. When you're driving to Dallas, you can see it an hour before you get there. You're just watching it going, yeah, it's getting a little bit bigger. We've been driving, but it's getting a little bit bigger. I think it's bigger now. Seattle, it's so much hills and stuff that you're going up and down. You literally come around a corner on I-5 and it's like, boom, there's Seattle. It just pops into view. But our first day we came up here, and her dad was up here working for Boeing.
I'm back. I don't know what the hell happened, but the internet just went out.
Well, welcome to the Drone Owners Network Live. I've taken over the show.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Are you guys going to jump over the valve? I had to sign in because in order to sign out, the show would just kept streaming.
Right.
You guys,
Well, since someone came in, I lost audio again. I'm gonna pop out anyway.
All right, Mike.
all right,
So
all right.
I'll see you guys in a while on Val's show or something.
Okay.
What
Are
time
you
show
guys-
start again?
Are you
Now?
guys
I
going to
think
jump
now.
over? You guys going to jump over the valves?
I think it just started.
Okay.
Yeah, it just started.
Okay,
But,
let's jump over
Anyway,
there and show her.
I'll see you guys in a bit. Thanks
Okay.
for having me and Lawrence and Herman.
Yeah.
No
Thank you,
problem.
Lawrence Herman. Appreciate it, guys.
All
have a
right,
good
we're
one.
going to jump over later, guys. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it, Kurt, for coming in, and Herman.
Always, brother. Uh-oh.
What happened?
He froze again.
Oh boy, here we go. See, this is the thing with the computer.
oh wait, I think he's stuck. No.
Jump
No.
over there.